Nobody expected a child in the executive boardroom. Marcus stood at his office window, watching the city below. At 37, he owned half the buildings in sight, yet felt emptier than ever. His navy suit hung perfectly, but his shoulders carried the weight of a man who had gained everything and lost himself. The soft knock on his door barely registered. He turned, expecting his secretary with another contract. Instead, a small boy with messy brown hair peered inside. The 4-year-old wore a worn brown shirt and torn jeans, clutching a water bottle like treasure. "Excuse me, mister," the boy whispered. "Can you be my friend?" Marcus blinked, speechless. Behind the child stood a young woman with golden hair, her face flushed with embarrassment. The 31-year-old mother wore a simple white dress, her hands reaching for her son. "Tommy, we cannot just walk into offices," she said softly, her voice carrying the gentle authority of someone who had learned patience through hardship. "But Mommy, he looks lonely like me," Tommy replied, his innocent eyes fixed on Marcus. Something cracked inside the businessman's chest. He knelt down, bringing himself to the child's level. "What is your name, little man?" "Tommy Patterson. This is my mommy, Sarah. We were looking for the bathroom, but I saw you through the glass door. You look sad." Sarah stepped forward, her cheeks burning. "I am so sorry, sir. We were visiting the doctor downstairs, and Tommy wandered off while I was filling out paperwork." Marcus studied the woman's tired eyes, recognizing something familiar. The same exhaustion he wore, but hers came from different battles. Her wedding ring was absent, but a pale band of lighter skin marked where one once lived. "Please, do not apologize," Marcus said, his voice softer than it had been in years. "Tommy, you asked if I could be your friend. That is the kindest offer I have received in a long time." The child's face lit up like Christmas morning. "Really? You want to be friends?" Marcus nodded, feeling something warm spread through his chest. "I would be honored." Over the following weeks, an unlikely friendship bloomed. Marcus found himself looking forward to the end of each day, not for the silence of his empty penthouse, but for the occasional visits from Tommy and Sarah. They would stop by when Sarah finished her evening shift at the diner downtown. Tommy would tell Marcus about his day, sharing crackers from his backpack and asking endless questions about the tall buildings. Sarah would sit quietly, her gentle presence filling the sterile office with warmth Marcus had forgotten existed. "My daddy went to heaven when I was 2, Tommy announced one evening matter-of-factly. "Mommy says he watches over us, but sometimes I wish he could play with me." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Your mommy works very hard to take care of you." "She does." Tommy nodded seriously. "She works at the restaurant and cleans offices at night. Sometimes she falls asleep reading to me because she is so tired." Sarah's sacrifice painted itself clearly in Marcus's mind. Every worn shoe, every mended hem in her dress, every careful choice at the grocery store. She was giving everything for her son. One rainy Thursday evening, Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He knocked on the door of their small apartment, holding grocery bags and a simple proposal. "Would you let me cook dinner for you both?" he asked. "I learned from my grandmother before she passed. I think Tommy might like her mac and cheese recipe." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She quickly blinked away. "You do not have to do that." "I want to," Marcus said simply. "Tommy asked me to be his friend. Friends help each other." That evening, as Marcus stirred cheese into pasta while Tommy stood on a chair beside him, something magical happened. The businessman who had forgotten how to smile found himself laughing at a 4-year-old's knock-knock jokes. Sarah watched from the doorway, her heart full for the first time in years. "You are good at this," she said softly as they sat around her small kitchen table. "I had forgotten," Marcus admitted, watching Tommy carefully blow on a spoonful of mac and cheese. "My grandmother raised me after my parents died. She taught me that food made with love tastes different." "It does," Sarah agreed, meeting his eyes across the table. As months passed, their friendship deepened into something beautiful and healing. Marcus began leaving the office earlier, trading board meetings for playground visits. Tommy taught him to see wonder in simple things. How ants march in lines, why clouds change shapes, what made flowers grow. Sarah slowly opened up about her struggles, her dreams deferred, her fears about providing enough for Tommy. Marcus listened without judgment, offering practical help disguised as friendship, a better job opportunity that happened to come up, groceries that mysteriously appeared, Tommy's medical bills that somehow got paid. One evening, as they watched Tommy play in the park, Sarah turned to Marcus. "You know, he has been asking me something." "What is that?" "He wants to know if he could be his family too, not instead of his daddy in heaven, but in addition to." Marcus felt his heart swell with emotion he had not allowed himself to feel in decades. "What did you tell him?" "That families come in all shapes. That love makes people belong together, not just blood." Marcus nodded, watching the little boy who had knocked on his door and asked the simplest, most profound question in the world. In seeking a friend, Tommy had given Marcus something infinitely more precious: a reason to live again, to love again, to hope again. The businessman who once measured success in dollars and deals now measured it in bedtime stories read. Scraped knees kiss better, and the warm weight of a sleepy child in his arms. Sometimes, miracles come in the smallest packages, asking the biggest questions, and changing everything forever.